Welcome to Denver, Colorado, America's mile-high city at the top of the Rockies. And part two of our episode focusing on this transit system which has so many innovations in it. We'll take you behind the scenes of what it takes to operate the rail, the bus, and the innovative approach to how public mobility is affected here, not only in their public transit system, but how it ties into the airport. And we'll talk to Phil Washington, the CEO of the Denver International Airport, who used to head up this transit system. All that on this episode of Transit Unplugged TV. Michael, great to be with you, my friend.
Hey,
Thanks for being with us here on Transit Unplugged TV. So you're the Chief Operating Officer of one of America's largest transit systems right here in Denver. Tell me about the scope of the service of what you all are doing.
Wow, we have a very extensive service. We cover over 2,000 square miles.
2,000 square miles.
Yeah. So that consists of paratransit services, fixed route services, our light rail services, commuter rail services, our flex ride, which is our on-demand responsive services, last mile type services as well. So we've got a very extensive network throughout the region.
Employees, scope of the size?
Over 2,000 represented, but it's a huge operation.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And we're in one of your many shops right here. This is a support vehicle shop. I think it's important for people to see that, you know, transit agencies don't just maintain buses. They maintain a whole fleet of other support vehicles.
Well, we have supervisors, mechanics, a lot of folks that need their services in terms of the vehicles that they take out every single day.
Yeah.
So they're here and they're getting operated on. We've got boom trucks. We've got all kinds of things that come through here to get service.
And are you noticing, the Great Resignation has obviously impacted the driver force, professional operators across the country. Are you seeing the same kind of thing in other jobs like skilled mechanic and all that?
Absolutely. We're very short in this area as well. We talk a lot about bus operators, but mechanics are very, very in need and in demand as well.
It seems like a lot of them in my kind of age group, late 40s, early 50s, decided to take the COVID pandemic as a time to retire. And so we're needing to have more people come in. What are you doing here at RTD to help increase that flow of staff, of mechanics, of operators?
Well, we're working with a lot of different educational institutions, letting them know that we have opportunity. We're working to have an apprenticeship program here, really to grow our own. Some people come in, they don't always have the skill sets. So what can we do to effectively help get them where they need to be over time? So training and all the type of resources that are necessary, we're looking and been putting those things in place here.
That's great. Fred, we're here in this iconic Denver 16th Street Mall corridor. We want to get down to Union Station. How do I get there?
Why, there's only one way to do it. You want to go in style on our electric mall fleet.
All right, we're on the vehicle now, headed to Union Station, where all your modes come together. But tell us about the vehicle itself.
So you are in the Mile High City. This vehicle was specifically designed for the 16th Street Mall. It has an enclosed driver's compartment. It is specialized seating. It was designed specifically to run on this corridor.
So I see you on the vehicle here, Dave, on the 16th Street corridor. Where are you going to? What do you use this vehicle for? You're a visitor to town.
Sure, yeah. No, I've been at a convention. We're taking it down to Union Station and catch the light rail out to the airport. It's free fare month in August, so it's free ride. Cheaper than a lift, and it's less than an hour ride.
That's awesome. So we rode the electric mall bus to Union Station, the crown jewel and central hub for RTD's multimodal system. Tell us about Union Station, Dave.
So welcome to Union Station. This is the living room of Denver. And this is our multimodal station where you can hear commuter rail train arriving in the background. Across the street, we've got light rail. So this is the hub of everything here as it relates to rail operations for Denver.
And does this connect into the airport?
Yes, so the train that's coming in is likely a train that will take you to the airport, but the design of the facility itself is the same material that they're using at the airport itself.
Dave, commuter rail in the United States is really undergoing a change post-COVID, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. What we're doing right now is really evaluating our passengers and our customers and what their ridership trends are. And what we're seeing is the traditional trends of morning and evening peaks don't really exist anymore. And so when I'm talking to others in the industry, what I'm hearing is everybody, they want to look back pre-pandemic. But my view is, as long as we're looking back, we're looking the wrong direction. What we really want to be doing is looking forward, understanding what our customer needs are, and then meeting those needs now moving forward.
And what are those needs? Where are you seeing your increases in ridership right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. What we're seeing is really solid ridership for events like baseball games and football games, concerts, that sort of thing. Weekends, people coming into town during the weekends. And so we're trying to meet that service demand.
That's great. This is phenomenal out here. We're at the top of Union Station. Tell me about this.
Yeah, so basically, this is the crown jewel of the system. A lot of our routes and rail lines feed into Union Station to create that connectivity. And what's so amazing about it is that this is an intermodal hub that connects with the international hub, which is Denver International Airport, which is the third busiest airport in the country. And so as we look at this holistically, this is what people envisioned Denver to be. This is an historic building that was renovated. RTD owns the property, and through collaborative, public-private partnership, this has been realized.
Next, we got on board the Denver Eagle A-Line commuter train to Denver International Airport for one more conversation. Right beneath my feet, the Denver Eagle A-Line brings travelers to and from ground transportation to Denver International Airport, air transportation. It's a great way to mix these two important modes of transportation. We're about to go inside and meet Phil Washington, the guy who's led both of them. Phil Washington, great to have you with us on Transit Unplugged TV.
It's great to be here. It's great to see you again, too,
Thank
Paul.
you, yeah. Tell us some about Denver International Airport. Are you really the third largest airport in the world?
It's the third largest airport in the world.
Wow.
We have rebounded faster than any other large airport in the world. This particular airport was built for 50 million annual passengers. And in 2019, we hit 69.5 million. Yeah, and so this year we're forecasting about 71 million. And we've introduced our long-term vision to hit 100 million in the next 5 to 8 years. So people are flying.
Tell us about the transition from transit to aviation.
Well, I think it was a pretty easy transition because I think there are a lot of similarities between modes. There's a lot of, customer service we have to do, asset management, capital programs, relationship building. Only this is with airlines and TSA and others. But I think there's a lot of similarities. So I've always said, and I go back to my first platoon sergeant when I was in the United States Army, who said, Washington, I should be able to put you in a position and use, or any position in that particular unit that I was in, and that I should be able to do that job within 90 days. And so I've always remembered that. And so it's a matter of transferring various skills to other modes. And the key thing to transfer is leadership. It's the leadership piece of it. So I feel like transit people can do aviation work as well.
That's great.
And vice versa.
Right. Well, Paul Wiedefeld's a good example, right?
Absolutely.
Washington, yeah.
Absolutely. Good for him.
So talk to us about talking about the role of transit and aviation. Here in Denver, you do it right. You've got a great Denver Eagle A-Line that comes out to the airport and back and forth. Tell us about what you think the importance is for transit in connecting with airports.
Well, I think travel should be seamless. And so I'm one of those people that thinks that you should be able to get off a train like we have here at Denver International Airport and get on a plane, and you should have the same form of payment. There should be a universal form of payment in this country around transportation, regardless of the mode. And so I see transit as a huge part of aviation. When we were building the train out here in Denver, we called it from train to the plane. And so the same should be true for Amtrak, for commuter rail, for rail across the country. The same thing should be true. We should have a universal form of payment and make it seamless. What
are some lessons learned since you've been here at the airport you think that we could learn in transit from what you're doing here in aviation?
Well, I think the technology, our big thing and what we're looking at now is technology around security. Biometrics, touchless, around security. We want to get to the point where you can move right through security. Your luggage can, if you're doing carry-on, that goes right through. We're looking at remote screening from a remote place, and the luggage, if it's going through security, TSA just moves right through. And of course, if there's an exception, it gets pulled off to the side. But I think biometrics is a huge piece. I think next gen is some of the technology that our controllers are using in the towers. I think some of that is transferable to transit. So I think all of us have to have an open mind about technology. I've always said we don't know what we don't know. And so if we can implement, if we can share technology with transit, we're willing to do that. As a matter of fact, there should be a conference with transit and aviation folks.
I love that.
Let's mold or blend the APTA annual with an aviation conference and have some aviation folks running through. So there can be some understanding there between both modes.
I think that's a great idea. Phil, thanks so much for being with us on the show. You've shown us a lot about aviation and what we can learn in transit, really, from aviation.
Well, it's great to be here. It's great to talk to you, and it's great to talk to the industry again.
Thank you. From our two-part show, you've seen inside one of America's great multimodal transit systems, Denver RTD, and heard from its leaders, whose vision is to put the customer first and provide mobility for all.